Hey everybody, Sam here, and I hope you're stoked to listen to this live episode. This is the live episode that we recorded at MagicCon Las Vegas back in June. It's a fantastic episode. We had a ton of fun recording it. Thanks again to everybody who was there, and we hope that you enjoy it. But before we get into this episode, we're hashtag sponsored this week, folks. That's right. We got a little sponsor for today's episode, and it's our buddies over at CardMill. I don't know if you've heard about this yet, but it's actually a pretty sick little piece of technology. Ever find yourself drowning in trading cards you swear you'll organize someday? Well, there's finally a solution, and it's CardMill. It's the first automated scanner and sorter built specifically for everyday TCG players. Whether you play Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Lorcana, Star Wars Unlimited, or Flesh and Blood, or others, this thing's got you covered. It scans and sorts up to 300 cards at a time using AI-powered card recognition, syncs your collection with real-time prices from TCG Player, and gives you full control through an easy web portal. One smart device, two functions, no recurring fees for Kickstarter backers. CardMill launched their Kickstarter just the other day, and it's already gaining amazing traction. Early birds will get it for just $350, but that is limited to the first 1,000 backers on the Kickstarter. So head on over to cardmill.com or check the episode description where we're going to have our Kickstarter link in there. The link is cardmill.com/howling saltmine. That'll bring you right to the Kickstarter. And you know, if you click on that, it's going to make us look good. Now that the copy's out of the way, guys, this is a really sick product. It's basically a card scanner that you can have at your house where you load cards into a tray. It can sort by color. It can sort alphabetically. This is a great way to sort all those extra cards that you have sitting around in your collection. It's just cool. It's a cool thing to have in your house. We're super excited to get our hands on this and test it out ourselves. So if you want to get to the Kickstarter, head to cardmill.com/howling saltmine or check the episode description. We'll have a Kickstarter link down there for you. Click on that and check out the product. I think it speaks for itself. So without further ado, let's get into that episode. Howling Saltmine Live, Vegas style, baby. Let's start that theme music.
One podcast, mining the Magic the Gathering community for salt. This is the Howling Salt Mine.
It's the Howling Salt Mine. The Howling Salt Mine.
Well, welcome back, everyone. Oh, wait. One podcast. Mining the Magic the Gathering community for salt. This is the Howling Salt Mine. It's the Howling Salt Mine. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. The Howling Salt Mine. Yeah. Well, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Howling Salt Mine podcast. Oh, man. The podcast where we delve into those salty, salty minds of the Magic the Gathering community, find the salty stories, the salty posts that we love, put them in our minecart, my iPad, and bring them right back up to you, our dear prospectors in the audience, in the room. Hey. As always, I'm your host, Sam, and I'm joined by my two lovely co-hosts, Tony and Mike. Oh. Say hey, guys.
What up? They all caught that too. They're like, that's not.
They're like, he's doing it wrong. He gets nervous.
I can do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want.
From the top.
We're not going to shout out the patrons because we don't do that during live shows. And if you're here, we appreciate it. It's hot in Vegas, guys.
Yeah.
It's pretty killer.
Yep.
I feel like we got off the plane and it was like a hairdryer.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing. We're like walking out, and Nick's like, I feel like I'm in a hairdryer right now.
Yeah, literally.
Like walking through the airport. I'm like, that's a pretty accurate description.
Yeah, it was
just
apt.
Constant hot air blowing on us.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Tony was like, I don't know what that is. A hairdryer?
Okay. Yeah.
He dries his beard.
Yeah, I'm bald. Okay, we got it. It's the dome.
How many people got cooked in that line yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was
We were watching
brutal.
you.
We
We
were
were
watching it
excited from the
excited. We were watching it dwindle. That's why
I
we
hope
were
you
an
had
hour late.
sunscreen.
Yeah, it was brutal. Well, Should we just get into
Let's
it,
do
guys?
it.
Are we
Let's
going to
get-
dilly down?
Oh, wait, what? Wait.
Oh, wait.
Wait.
Huh?
Dear Samuel,
Yes, Tony.
what is it that we're going to talk about? You got to say the word because I haven't.
Yeah, there's no transition.
Man, I bet people were pretty salty waiting on that line.
Oh, whoa, but wait, Sam.
Yeah, Tony?
What is salt?
Great question, Tony. Thank you for asking.
I try.
What a lovely guy.
You know?
Look at him go.
Doing great.
Salt is frustration in the game, of course. It's anything in a game of Magic that's going to get you frustrated, grumpy, salty. Got to use the term to define the term. Irritated, sad, things aren't going your way. Maybe your commander's getting countered over and over and over again. Maybe you're looking for bracket 2 and someone's playing a bracket 5 deck. Maybe people just don't understand the brackets.
Yeah.
They're playing a Thassa's Oracle win con in an upgraded pre-con.
Maybe you sit down.
Deadpool is stealing your card text.
Maybe Deadpool
God.
is just crushing your whole game, and Sam's feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, that is salt.
Or maybe you misplay and you think that you're making the play of the game, and we tell you that you're misplaying, and you yell at us.
Yeah. And you still
Maybe
do
I
it.
won that game, so let's not even go anywhere.
All of these things are salt, and we're going to talk about all of them so that we can learn from it and hopefully not be salty in a future game of Magic. As we like to say, it's an edge-educational podcast.
But, yeah.
Yep.
Indeed. Yeah, it's PG-13 today, so we
Yeah.
only get one. Well, I got some salty stories here. Should we kick it off?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's see how many we can get through, huh? So this first one comes to us from our buddy Dallas. And
Hey.
and the story is titled "My Boyfriend is Making Me Salty."
He's here in the room.
Hey, y'all. I hope you're having a wonderful time in our very hot city. Thank you for coming out. Well, thanks for having us. We appreciate it. Today, I'd like to express how salty I am that my Mardu/Jund playing boyfriend is now running interaction in his decks. The nerve of that guy.
I mean, kinda.
I introduced my boyfriend to Magic a year ago. MagicCon is actually our anniversary present to us, and he's been very Mardu/Jund pilled since he has started. Well, congrats on your anniversary. Recently, he made a America deck and wanted to take it for a little go, so we played a 4-man game. I decided to play one of my silly decks, Endrick Sar, the Master Breeder, which is mono black, so of course I run Cryptghast, which is the mana doubler for folks who don't know. And he, of course, kills it as soon as it's out with a lightning bolt, because why not?
Yeah.
But that's not a big deal, because I have Forever Young, Reanimate, and Soul Exchange in my hand, so the Ghast isn't really dead. Our other friends take their turn, and I don't remember what they were playing because all I can remember is my need to get this Ghast back out to spite my boyfriend. My turn comes around, and I proceed to bring back my Ghast from the graveyard with Soul Exchange, sacrificing my little Viscera to do so. Well, as soon as I did, this slick fudge played Bite Down, targeting his Marika, a 7/4, and my Ghast, a 2/2. And guess what? When it died, I reanimated it again. And he proceeded to tail swipe it on his next turn, killing it again. I didn't even want it anymore. I just needed to keep bringing it back out of pure spite. On my next turn, I was able to get Cryptghast back out with the help of Forever Young, with no responses for once. Cool. Great. Life is good. I tap my lands for some extra mana, bring out my commander, and pass. Come to my boyfriend's turn, and he brings out Domri, Anarch of Bolas, and fights it once more by using his fight ability, killing it, and then plays his land for turn, a Bajuka Bog.
Oh, man.
Exiling my silly little Ghast. Filled with spite, I continued to play, solely targeting him and giving the win to our good friend Justin at the other table because I'm pretty sure we did not interact with him or our other friend the entire time. Thanks for letting me spill my salt all over the place. He continues to run interaction like crazy now. Not a bad thing, but it's always aimed at me for some reason. Lol. Thanks, Dallas. Well, thank you, Dallas. That was a great story.
Great salty story.
Oh, man. I love this one because I love like the dynamic of the friendly spite plays between like friends and loved ones.
Yeah.
Sometimes, that's really what you and Nick have.
Well, I was going to say, it's kind of just like an average day for me and Nick.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I just
don't take him home
thing.
afterwards. That's the difference.
It's also funny when you're teaching someone to play Magic and they start to like get good at it and like make good decks, and you're like, oh wait, like,
Not that good.
not like this.
Hold on.
Not like that. Like running interaction, constantly messing you up. You're like, who taught you to do
Yeah,
that?
we do this to the other people in the pod, not to me.
We're allies.
Yeah, we're friends here.
I feel like the thing that kind of sucks is the bajuka bog at the.
The definitive answer.
You keep doing it, and then it's
Yeah.
like, you know what? Let's just make this permanently no longer. And I think that definitely would have triggered me too, because like I play spitefully, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like if you're mean to me, then I'm gonna be like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna exile your stupid mana dork instead of the
Instead of the
VV
Draenith
or the
Magistrate.
Draenith Magistrate on the table. Yeah,
And my argument is that you should be used to being mean to you now.
I guess, but it's just like I don't know. It's like playful, you know.
It is.
It doesn't feel like it in the moment, but
Yeah. It's funny that like you do sometimes when you get that repeat removal, you get like the side mission of like, well, I just have to play this creature.
Yeah, it's not.
And make it
It's about the
stick.
principle of the thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yes, have I paid more mana than I would have gotten out of this ghast at this point?
Yeah.
Yes, I have. I'm definitely mana negative, but I'm getting it in play, and that's the thing that counts.
But meanwhile, boyfriend now has the side mission to destroy it every single time it comes
as
in.
much as possible.
It's classic Salt, man. You know, it's short, sweet, and to the salt. It's a classic one. I think we've all been here.
yeah, I would agree. I guess I maybe just have a question. What was the rest of the night fine? Hell yeah.
He likes to say that I downplay everything because I have pretty powerful decks. If Endrickstar gets off, it gets off.
Yeah.
But also, I need my mana to work.
Yeah.
I'm the 5-drop for a 2-2. Like, I
Yeah.
need that fucking gas. As long as he can stop my mana from coming in, I'm not.
Yeah.
The thing that happens so often is this one carries the lead. Whenever everyone's like, I'm just bringing out this crypt gas. It's just
Yeah.
a silly little guy. And I'm looking at the table like, no. There's no way this can happen.
That's the best.
It's that known salt. You've
Yeah.
experienced the pain in the past.
You know what's coming.
Yeah.
You're like, we cannot let this resolve.
So what do we think about the salt rating here on this one?
Again, I think it's a little sweet, just because I love this kind of salt. Like I really
It's sweet on
enjoy
your
it.
side. It's salty on mine. Let it be known, and I think that's probably how it was that night
Dynamic
too.
plays out. Where I'm like, I'll keep destroying that. Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's a pinch. It's a pinch of salt. Not a ton, but it's a good amount.
Tasteful,
It's a
one
pinch,
might even say.
but it's a pinch of salt that gets applied over and over and over again
Yeah.
with each bit of removal, and then the dish is quite salty.
I think the extra bit for me is like you make it through all the instant speed removal and you're like, okay, I'm good. And then the sorcery speed removal starts hitting. It's like, wait, you still have it. You're just needing to wait.
you think you're fine, but
Yeah.
you're not.
I'm in the
You're
clear.
not at all. Well, another story, guys?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's
go.
do it. We like to move fast in these live episodes. You never know.
Cover a lot of ground.
We might hit 4 stories.
Yeah.
One of these is really fudging long. So. We'll have to see. So this next one comes from our buddy Boyd. And this Boyd, are you in the audience? Hey. And this story is titled "Stir the Salty Pot." Hi, salty boys, and all my fellow prospectors. I've been listening to the podcast for a short time, but have managed to get through the entire backlog while on night shift, working in an actual mine in Western Australia.
Yo, whoa! Let's go.
What are you mining?
Magnetite.
Oh.
Iron ore.
Oh, okay. A little iron ore. No salt. That's about
That would have been too
That would
real.
be too perfect. Yeah, I'd just give you my job.
Can I say though, real quick, like that's a lot of content to get through. Like we have 3 years
Yeah.
of shit now.
There's like 100 and we're nearing 160 episodes.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
crazy. Yeah. Do you listen on 1.5 times speed or is it regular speed? My man. My man. Let's keep going. Love the podcast and have wanted to contribute a story, so I figure a story where not only did I get salty, but also I intentionally got someone else salty would fit just right. I was at an LGS that hosts a weekly commander night. It was my first time attending after my friend had invited me along because it seemed like a good group of regulars with decent door prizes. My first assigned pod was great. Good pregame conversation about deck power levels and was a great, fun game. Then the second pod, which consisted of myself playing my pet deck, Anim Pakal, Thousandth Moon. largely a go-wide deck that is full of impact tremors style effects. Player 2 was new to Commander, was a new to Commander player playing a deck he had borrowed from a friend, Urza, Chief Artificer. Classic. You got to borrow, you got to borrow the Urza.
The Anim Pakal Urza matchup is a classic.
Yeah,
one. I
it
think
really
we've all
is.
played that once or twice.
Typical CDH pod.
Yeah, really standard stuff.
Player 3 was a teenage guy playing Sliver Overlord with a pretty high-powered deck full of proxies. And player 4 was, well, you know what I'm going to say. Nice. We appreciate the censorship. As a stark contrast to the first game, I introduced myself and asked what sort of decks people wanted to run. Urza player introduced himself, but because he was new, he didn't know how strong his friend's deck was. Classic. Hey, you don't need to know.
I'm borrowing it.
The other 2 players stayed silent. After a few more awkward moments of silence, I offered what I wanted to play, greeted with more silence. Rather than pester the other players anymore, I sighed inwardly and shuffled up to play. The game began slowly for me as Sliver Kid and the Urza player very quickly built a board state. It became obvious that they had a friendship outside the game as well, perhaps just because they were regulars to the store, as they made a few deals, including one to not attack each other. This deal was prefixed with extending their hand to the other to shake and saying something along the lines of, "We're friends, right?" A very Tony deal. This deal made my internal sodium begin to build. After a few turns, the Urza player had 5 or 6 giant constructs, and Sliver Kid had an army of giant slivers, including Sliver Hivelord, making his slivers indestructible. With my slow start, either one of them could have taken me out at this point, but the Urza player was more interested in growing his construct army than attacking the Sliver Kid. And Sliver Kid had been tapping all his big slivers for mana with Gemhide Sliver. It began to feel like playing with your food. Sliver Kid went to pass the turn, but because they had an aversion to ending the game, I had drawn into a plan. On Sliver Kid's end step, I pathed the Hive Lord, and then on my turn, cast Austere Command, choosing all artifacts and all creatures mana value 4 or greater, blowing up all the blockers for both the Urza player and Sliver Kid, leaving just a few tapped creatures. Swinging out with Anim, I created enough gnomes to do a decent amount of damage to the table with impact tremors, and then had enough attackers to take out one player. After taking a moment to decide, I sent them at Sliver Kid, thinking he would be able to rebuild the fastest. "Oh, of course," he proclaimed, throwing his arms up. "People always target me first." In my head, I thought, I just hit the entire table for a good chunk of damage. I didn't really target you at all with that much. But that's not what I said. Mouth acted before brain, and I just extended my hand and with a shit-eating grin and said, "But we're friends, right?" In the end, after a laugh from the rest of the table, I did apologize and explain my reasons for taking him out first, but it fell on deaf ears as the salt had already been mined. I really can't help but stir the salt pot when the opportunity presents itself. Well, that's my story. Thanks, guys, and I love the show. Well, thanks, boys.
That's awesome.
That's a good one, man.
It's the kind of quality stuff that comes directly out of the minds right there. That's great.
Well, it's that thing where I say this all the time. I hate board wipes because they're stupid.
Yeah.
But if you're playing with me and like you could have finished it and you didn't, and I draw a board wipe, well, I won't because they're not in my decks. But if someone does, like, you've earned it at that point. Then you can do it.
If there's 2 people, like if there's one person who's super far ahead and 3 people are using targeted removal on them, you can keep them okay without a board wipe. But as soon as 2 people are friends, right? Then you need a board wipe to deal with that kind of like madness all going on at once.
Yeah, and also, I mean, it gets me salty when a Sliver player is like, "I can't believe I was targeted first. Oh my God, guys." It's like, there's like a trope with Slivers. I feel like it's pretty well known that they're incredibly powerful. They snowball like crazy. Like, you're signing up for that, you know? You should accept it. It's same with Urza, man.
Yeah.
Like, they should know.
Yeah. But like, they are the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. That type of player.
They never see it.
They never
I was like,
see it
"Oh,
coming.
this will be so fun for everyone."
My super interesting deck, it's my special brew. I call it Slivers.
Yeah.
Very
Probably
unique.
haven't heard of it.
I don't know if you've heard of this one. It's not a top 100 commander on EDH Rec or anything. Yeah, I do love those like little digs. Like sometimes you just gotta do it, you know?
Yeah.
Gotta rub someone's nose in it a little bit.
I know. Like, I mean, I feel like we do it as friends. So, like, it is a different scenario when you're not
do it at LGS.
actually friends at the LGS to just be like, "Yo, what up?"
It's like get Fudged idiot.
Yeah. Sometimes sprinkling it in does like remind everyone like, oh, we're joking around. Like we are playing a game, even though you did wipe my entire board. Like I see that you're trying to do this to be a little goofy also. Like it's just cardboard at the end of the day.
So have you played with this person since this happened?
He's not shown up at the LGS since then.
Really? Oh my gosh, never heard from again.
He only turns up with 3 decks. The Slither deck, the Eldrazi deck, or an Omnath deck.
This tracks.
Also gross, yeah. Is it the 4-color Omnath? Yeah.
Austerely commanded to get out of the LGA.
Oh, man. That's a good one. I love it.
What do we think about the salt rating on this one?
Dude, I would be so salty. I don't like it when people play with their food in games, man. Like, just end the game, you know? Especially if I'm getting pub stomped.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because you were doing it last night.
I couldn't have ended the game.
Don't worry, guys. I took the infinites out of this deck.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Not my
That'll
fault it
surely
made
make
it
it go
worse.
faster.
That is going to make it better. Ooh,
I think this is
tough crowd.
100% grade A locally mined salt.
Yeah, definitely. Approved by whatever Australian mining authority
probably
there
not
is.
MSHA.
It's probably not
MSHA.
MSHA, but
I
I'm
think
sure you have
UMSHA's
some sort of help.
authority could be global.
I don't think it is.
All right, I'll just roll with me.
Yes?
Yes, and me.
Yes, and
Thank
I
you.
think they probably give out cool stickers or something.
Yeah.
I didn't have anywhere to go with that.
Only once you get certified.
Well, should we hit another one, guys?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Nah.
again,
Are we cruising? Oh,
we're cruising. We're cruising
through them. This
And
might
I
be
have a lot of salty stories. We have like 6 or 7, so
we may hit all of them.
we could. So I have one that's quite long.
Let's get it.
Let's do it.
Take me on an
buckle in.
adventure.
In fact,
hear
we
the
should buckle up
clicks.
here. I'm just gonna
Everybody buckle up.
I'm just gonna give you guys a quick little scroll.
He's scrolling a lot, folks.
That's pretty good, pretty sizable. Granted, the font is big.
I was going to say, he does have old man fonts on right now.
In the accessibility settings.
Exactly. So this one comes to us from our buddy Brian. It's called A Salty Triumph. Brian, are you in the audience? I saw a hand. I saw a fist.
Just stretching.
Just an enthusiastic stretch. Well, we're going to read it anyways. Maybe they want to be anonymous. Greetings, fellow miners. I return to you from the deep caverns of my local game store, where the salt is rich and plentiful, bearing a story of triumph and tryhards. It all started when I joined a table of strangers to play a game of Casual Commander. I was playing a Boros Burn deck with Rem Karulus, Stalwart Slayer, as my commander. My first opponent was playing a discard-focused Kroxa, Titan of Death's Hunger deck. My second opponent was on a graveyard deck with Korum the Undertaker as their commander. My last opponent was playing some stupid mono-white deck. They did nothing all game and did not matter. Sorry, fourth players. At any rate, the Kroxa player got off to a very quick start, casting both Waste Not and Oppression. While we eventually removed both pieces, the damage was already done. Their hand was full, ours were empty. And it only got worse. Now that we were all top decking, the Kroxa player cast an Archfiend of Ifnir.
Nice.
Cool.
Good card.
Paired with a couple draw/discard outlets. This effectively meant that no one but Kroxa could keep their creatures on the board. It was a brutal lock, and the game slowed down to a crawl as the Kroxa player started chunking away at our life totals. I won't lie, I was feeling the salt. After some time and much agony, Kroxa had finally done enough damage and developed enough of a board state that they could eliminate all players on their turn. But with the end in sight, I felt a wave of relief. I would soon be free from this madman. But wait! They weren't going to just end it. Kroxa players are built different, and they decided to go for a flavorful victory instead. They cast a Bandit's Talent. At level 2, this would deal 2 damage to each opponent on their upkeep if they had 1 or fewer cards in hand. Since none of us had any cards in hand, this was guaranteed 2 damage to each of us on upkeep. Seeing this, I asked the table if we should just scoop in response. The game was over, and my salt levels were dangerously high already. Unsurprisingly, the Kroxa player begged us to, quote, let him have this. I need this. I suspect that this was the only thing in their life that gave them any sense of control or power, so we relented and agreed to play it out. With a sadistic smile on their face, the Kroxa player spent the next 5 minutes, though it felt like an eternity, doing some basic math before tapping out and attacking with just enough of their creatures to reduce each of our life totals to 2. They were so proud of themselves, as we would each die on our upkeep to the Bandit's Talent trigger. Isn't that so funny, they spat?
Only, what's that? They had done their math wrong and accidentally left the Quorum player at 4 life. Oh well, snarked the Kroxa player. I guess you can have one more turn. This mistake would be their downfall. We proceeded around the table. First, it was the white player's turn, and they continued to disappoint everyone and died on their upkeep. Next was the Quorum player's turn. I should mention, while Kroxa had kept all creatures off the table, Quorum had an obscene amount of lands, like 20 probably, I don't know, and a Rhythm of the Wild in play, which gave their creatures haste. I had nothing but lands in play, although one of my lands was a Sun-Baked Canyon, which I can sacrifice to draw a card. This will be relevant later. Kroxa had fully tapped out, confident they could not lose. And while most of their creatures had attacked, they kept 3 creatures back with a total toughness of 6 to block. Kroxa was also pretty low at 15 life, having been the target of several of my burn spells throughout the game. What then took place was some of the luckiest, most perfect draws I have ever seen. Quorum, still alive with 2 life, cast their commander. Quorum entered with haste, thanks to Rhythm of the Wild. Then they cycled the card they had drawn for turn, Titanoth Rex, an 11/11 creature that put a trample counter on Quorum. This also buffed Quorum's power to 11, as that creature was now the biggest one in the graveyard. While impressive, that was not enough to kill Kroxa. But what did they draw into? Lord of Extinction, hitting the field as a massive 25/25 creature with haste thanks to Rhythm of the Wild. Sadly, however, it was all for naught as Kroxa could chump block and survive. Moved to attack, Quorum sent both his creatures at Kroxa, milling a card again from each player's library, and they struck gold again, putting a Yargle and Multani into their graveyard and pumping their commander to an 18/5 with trample. To our dismay, the math was still not in our favor. Kroxa could chump each blocker. They could block each attacker, and they would only take 14 trample damage, leaving them at exactly 1 life. To quote the immortal words of Chester Bennington of Lincoln Park, we tried so hard and got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. Or did it? As I untapped on my turn, I entered my upkeep. The Bandit's talent trigger went on the stack. I was about to lose 2 life and die, and then I saw it, my beautiful sun-baked canyon. I sacrificed it to draw a single card and prayed to every deity in the known universe for a miracle, and a miracle I received. Channeling the raw power of conviction, a professional bowler, Pete Weber, I windmill slammed my card onto the table, looked straight into the Kroxa player's dead eyes before shouting, "Lightning bolt to your face!" The Kroxa player fell to their knees in anguish, metaphorically, and began to weep, also metaphorically. While I no longer would die to the Bandit's talent trigger, I gladly conceded on the spot, giving the much-deserved win to Quorum. To continue speaking strictly in metaphors, the entire LGS erupted into cheers as the Quorum player and I embraced. We had done it. We had finally defeated our villain, and yes, it was absolutely worth the salt. Oh, well, that's a good one.
That's a great one.
Oh, dude. Oh my goodness, man.
It's like a saga.
Yeah, it is, yeah. That's just a good, salty story, dude. Yeah. So another story of playing with your food.
Yeah.
With like, just let me have this, man. I just need it.
This is important.
It's important. I need this win.
Yeah. Have you guys ever died to a lightning bolt to the face?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I think I've died to mana crypt triggers, man. Rest in peace,
Yeah, that's a good way of taking 3 to the face.
It's essentially a lightning bolt to the face.
Yeah. I do think they would have, the Bandit's talent?
Bandit's talent.
Yeah, that trigger would go away when that player died, too. So you had a chance against that 18-whatever Quorum that was hitting you with trample.
Yeah.
And the 25.
Yeah, you had a solid chance against that.
But they scooped out of, honor, deference to the move there.
Of course.
Which, I appreciate. I think sometimes you do play for second place, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's actually cool and good.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've had a scenario where you've sort of like tag teamed an interaction like this?
Oh my God. I feel like we've had this happen so many times in our pod where someone is like, are you thinking of a specific time?
No, I just know it's happened. I was teeing it up. I was like,
I can't think of a specific interaction though, but it's definitely happened.
I've seen like specifically a force of negation needed and flipped off the top of something.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the key part. Like there was this specific mill that needed to happen as well to get them like one lower. There was exactly the sun-baked canyon to draw for it, all doing it on upkeep. Like those moments moments where the cards need to give you a specific thing and they give you them.
The heart of the cards, dude.
Yeah, heart of the cards.
But this is why you don't do this shit where you like leave people at 2 because drawing a card like Magic, that's the fun part about Magic.
Yeah.
That literally you're never out until you actually right. Because there's so many cards in unique scenarios where it's like this is gonna really impact and change the game.
Yeah, man. I mean, they could just draw the perfect card and totally, which is exactly what happened, you know? But I think, like, this is already incredibly salty. So I will say, like, credit to Brian and the others for even sticking around. I think I'd scoop. I don't think I'd be like, I'm going to let
I wouldn't have let him do it.
I would have
I'm
scooped.
dead. I've scooped.
When the Archfiend did, I would have.
Yeah,
Though,
honestly.
That's because you're
you
a
would
weaker
miss out on this epic moment in that case, though.
Yeah, that's true, but at what cost?
For every one time this happens,
All
there's
the
9 where you
discards?
just continue to get drained out.
And what is oppression? Oppression is whenever you cast a spell, you want to bring that one up,
Yeah,
Mike?
we'll bring it up.
Because this is like backbreaking, a horrible card. I think we've had it as a salty card before.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Whenever a
When you
player
cast a spell?
you don't even get the option. It's 3 mana for an enchantment. Whenever a player plays a spell, that player discards a card from his or her hand. So that with oppression or with waste not, which generates like mana
Value.
or tokens or card draw, you're just stuck in a place where everything you're trying to do is at least generating something for this other
Awful,
player.
dude. Yeah, absolutely awful.
Terrible.
Get wrecked.
So you dug yourself out of that hole, and then you're still facing like almost lethal. I think you made a great point too of like, or Tony said it, like Kroxa should have just done it. If you just kill the quorum player off straight out, then you get back to your turn and you kill the next player. Like the allure of killing everyone in the same rotation, it's always dangling there.
Yeah.
But you don't need to.
It's a little too cute.
Just take your outs, play to your out, which is killing the player.
They should have left the shitty white player up, you know, because they wouldn't have done anything.
True.
What do we think about the salt rating here on this one?
This is brutal, man. I would have scooped, like I said, when that horrible Archfiend of Ifnir landed, and I couldn't play any more creatures for the game. If I didn't have any cards and I couldn't land any creatures, why am I playing?
I know. This is the one moment, though, where I feel like Mike is right, which I don't like, of like play to your
like
outs or whatever. Like,
I don't know.
You should keep playing like whatever.
I feel like it's like the ends, like the ends shouldn't.
It's so
justify
different. Like
He does
I do that a lot when we record, but it doesn't always make it in, you know. And so when it's live, it just sort of happens.
Yeah, Dan edits that out of the video.
That's Tony Raw right there.
Yeah.
Salt is a Kroxa player, though.
Yeah.
Because just imagine you asked it, you got it, and then you're like, oh,
I
have this moment.
Nah, fuck that guy. I just used it.
That's our one. That's our one. Yeah, I don't think we appreciate the Kroxa player at all.
We
actually.
don't.
And in fact,
I'm pouring
I
one out
chastise
for
you
everybody else.
saying that. Because they're horrible, dude. They were making everyone discard the whole game, and then they're like, "Give me this thing," and you know, it's like, calm down.
They got what they
I think
deserve.
my thought on this
Yeah,
point
they
is
got what they
like
deserve.
it's so close. The difference time-wise, the difference between actually scooping and just doing one more turn rotation. Like if it literally is okay, we each take a trigger, lose 2 life, and then the game is done. That is just about as quick as actually surrendering. And this little chance of this glimmer of awesome, epic moment that is, you know, someone's willing to write a story in for. Like there's that hope, and I like to ride on that hope right there.
I don't like hope. Like, give me another one.
Let's hit a 4th story. Okay, let me actually find one. I gotta think now. Whew. Okay.
Someone chose a search term.
All right, let's do this one. This one comes to us from our buddy Gierda. And this story is titled Salt of the Magi. Jared, are you in
We're
here?
not going to ask if Jared is in here?
Yeah.
It's because we know.
That's because I knew. It's because I knew already. All right, from Prospector Gierda.
I saw this title.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, in the inbox.
You're not allowed to read the email, Stoney.
I don't.
It's got to be raw reaction.
Saw the title.
It's got to be raw, Tony reaction.
I can't read anyways.
I can only barely do it. Longtime listener, first-time salter, and I come to you today with a tale of salt and woe. A small bit of backstory. I joined this hobby only a few short years ago, around the time of Brothers War release. This story takes place within a few short months of then, and I still was running little more than a lightly upgraded precon. During this time, I had two very good friends who got me into the hobby that I would play with regularly on Spell Table, while the fourth seat kind of rotated around with a few different faces. This story is centered around one of those people. I'll call them Bayaz, because like Bayaz, he likes to sling spells, but more importantly, is an ass. Is that a First Law reference? Hell yeah. Logan Nine Fingers. If we got some fantasy readers in here, you know that's a good story.
Yeah, the people at home are really loving it.
The people at home are loving it, man. The people at home are loving it. I have many stories I could pull out of the mine about Bayaz. In a time where the rest of the pod was playing battle cruisery precons with maybe a few upgrades, he was always on some bullshit you can't play Magic list full of stacks and counters that our lists weren't equipped to handle at the time. On top of that, he hated politicking, mostly because it was against him the majority of the time, but refused to accept that. Of course, we were all targeting him when his decks weren't letting us play the game. Games often devolved in him playing the saltiest deck, winning, and still being the saltiest at the table. That's a classic. As a frame of reference, some of the decks included Atraxa Super Friends, Yasharn, Sisbay. Well, nothing's wrong with Sisbay.
Yeah, it's completely fine. Yeah.
Sis is a cool deck. It's fine.
It's great.
And if we begged him to power down and not play stacks, he would delight with an upgraded Edgar Markov precon. The story I wanted to tell today... the story I want to tell is the day he brought his newly... See, I can't read. That gets edited out. You guys get all the stumbles. The story I want to tell today is the day he brought his newly built Niv Mizzet Perun deck to the table. He claims it, quote, probably isn't that strong. And he desperately had been looking forward to playing it for the first time. This was a month or two into my Magic career, and I was on my second purchased precon, which was the Captain Ingathrod Horror Mill deck. Yes, Boo Mill, we get it, Tony.
Nice.
Got him. Got him. Keep your mouth shut. I remember when I was playing... I remember what I was playing because it's marginally relevant to the story, but other than Niv, we were all the proverbial fourth player here, and all got fudged. Bayaz gets out Niv on turn 2 or 3 thanks to some Jeweled Lotus / Dockside bullshit. Rest in piss. It says that in the story as well.
Oh, nice.
With some... First of all, sorry, pause. Is this anyone's first episode of Howling Saltmine that they've listened to?
Oh, whoops.
Hey, welcome. That's we've got a lot of little inside jokes and stuff. Again, 3 years of content.
A lot, in case that wasn't apparent.
3 years of the show, so. Rest in piss, with some mocks and at some point resolved, a counterbalance, Mike favorite
Nice.
right there.
Love it.
Niv started doing Niv shit, and we complain about the power level, and he says, just play removal. We proceed to play some more removal over the next few turns, to which he counters all of it, saying, oh yeah, this deck is basically counterspells. The game proceeds with 3 of us mostly doing nothing, and Niv getting in pings and swings. 2 of us are trying to do what we can, knowing it's pointless, and player 3 is actively playing chess on his phone. At one point, Bayaz only has 1 blocker, and I am able to swing at him with my commander with Menace, with a feeling of futility. This triggers a mill proc, leading to Bayaz milling Sensei's Divining Top. The salt overflowed. He is furious because, as he states, the whole point of his deck is to use counterbalance and top so that he can always counter whatever is on the stack. The other 3 of us in our battlecruiser, mostly precon decks, remain far from empathetic with his plight. The next turn, he sulkily plays Curiosity on Niv with all of us at low life totals.
Sulkily.
The kicker? He didn't even realize Niv and Curiosity went pseudo-infinite. We point this out to him, at which point he kills the table and is kind enough to let us know that even if we had too much life, he would just draw his Thassa's Oracle or Jace eventually and win that way. You'd think winning would wash away the salt crust, but he proceeded to disconnect without saying another word. I would love to say that this was the last time I played with him, but being the significant other of the person who got me started playing Magic in the first place, that was easier said than done, and there are countless other salty stories inflicted on our playgroup. In an incredibly awkward silver lining, the couple has decided sometime in the last year that it's better for their marriage if they don't play Magic together. P.S. At the time this game took place, I had no concept of what CDH was and was pretty confident the list he was using was either knowingly or unknowingly ripped from at least a fringe CEDH deck. Well, thanks, Gierda. We appreciate it. Good story, dude. Good story.
I feel like these are the kinds of blue players that, like, they're what's wrong with the world.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Magic could be a happier place if they didn't exist.
Yeah. I think I do agree with you on this. I think the key distinction here is like the thing they're trying to do is counter everything everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
It's fine if your counter spells are a way to enable you to do the other stuff that you want to do. Like,
is it?
Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Get over it.
I was asking for a friend. I was just curious. I didn't know.
So you're trying to do something interesting, and your one friend keeps removing stuff, so you got to counter those things.
Yeah,
that's all right. But if it's just I just want to stop you from playing, that's not a positive. You're just kind of dealing in these negative things of trying to stop other people. So.
And it doesn't really advance like your own board state either. Like it's not a good strategy. Like, yeah, you're stopping everything what everyone else is doing, but you're not like pushing forward with your list and getting more value. Yeah. I mean, I guess with Niv, just casting spells kind of does. But
eventually something is going to sneak through too.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be salty because it's like, oh, my plan didn't work. My perfect defensive shield didn't actually do it. Yeah. There is also nothing worse than a bad winner. Like a bad loser, a sore loser is rough. Like we've all seen it. People that kind of salt off when it doesn't go their way. It's justified though. But a sore winner is like it's even worse. It's even worse. Like everything went your way. You're one of 4 people that gets the pleasant experience of taking home the dub, and you're not even gonna celebrate it. Like why? No one gets the joy of winning then at that point.
Yeah, everyone's sad.
Yeah.
I also love this line where they're like, oh, you got to play more removal. And then they play a bunch of removal and he counters it all. And he's like, oh yeah, I'll just counter it though. It's so freaking funny, dude. What a wild story though. Like, have you guys ever had someone just bring a CDH deck to the pod and not know? Because I've.
Yeah, Mike has.
Did you?
What? Halden and Paco, he was just creaming us.
No, I don't know.
That deck was just good.
That was just gas. I don't know if that was really CDH at the time. It was just nuts.
I do think the point of like when you don't know something is CDH, especially decks like Niv where one card, like a curiosity combo, the combo itself might be something that can fit in a CDH deck.
Yeah.
And then all the other stuff you pack around it just starts to not matter as much. It's just about how efficiently you're getting to that win con.
Yeah.
And if everyone else is 5 turns slower than CDH, you being 2 turns slower than CDH, you're still going to feel like a competitive deck in that environment.
Definitely. And I think like just sometimes 2-card combos can feel very CDH light, where, you need to have like a certain suite of removal to deal with those things when they're on the stack. And sometimes if it's all sorcery speed removal or you just don't have the card in hand because you don't have the removal density, like you're not going to get to it.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting thing because like we talked about this before, but not everyone is into CDH or interested in CDH. I like that it's a bracket now because more people are curious about it. But you do kind of want to have like a glancing knowledge of what is CDH meta playable because you may accidentally fall into it. Like I've talked about my buddy Gene playing his Najila deck before. And when we were playing, he was crushing us. And I was like, can I see your deck list, man? I was like, this is like 10 cards off a CDH list. Yeah. But the synergies that you find on EDHREC or wherever just like point you towards those like 2-card combos and stuff like that. So you can fall into it really easily.
Mm-hmm. If you are a freaking blue Izzet player playing Niv Mizzet.
Niv Mizzet.
Like, you don't know the curiosity fucking combos with that? Like, come on. Yeah. This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
That is weird, though.
This.
That is super weird that they did not know that.
Like, boo-hoo.
Sulkily plays the curiosity.
I
guess I'll only play my infinite combo and win the game.
Anyway, what do we think about this all rating here on this one?
Man, I think, this is the type of player that gives CDH players a bad rap. I think it's also the type of player that gives blue players a bad rap. Like I've seen posts on Reddit where people are like, no one can play blue in my pods because all those decks are just only counter spells. I'm like, they're really not like that. Like I have a lot of blue decks that have like maybe 2 or 3 counter spells. Maybe I built them poorly, but
Tony's living proof that you can play blue and not run counter spells.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And not understand how to cast
blue.
Every once in a while,
yeah, get into it. Like half your decks are blue, dude. So I think it's a frustrating salt. I mean, you're getting pub stomped, and it sounds like this happened a lot, very frequently. Was it often like CDH stuff?
Not necessarily, because like track super friends. But
yeah.
The goal was to soft block the table every time.
Every single time. Yeah, it's like a sick satisfaction and like no one can do anything and I get to do it all. Literally. Yeah, it's like the worst kind of Magic player. Were you getting into CDH before they stopped playing with you? No. Have you ever played with them since then?
Right now, he's worked back up playing pre-cons with his husband, but that is their limit.
That's good.
Well, yeah, that's the other piece. I forget, like, this is like sort of a
there's a
connected
bit of like
friend. Like that's the piece. Like you know them through someone you like. So
got to be tough to be the spouse of a salt lord too. Put some tension in the home.
When you
can't play a game with your
game with you, it's a strong signal that maybe you're not enjoyable to play this game with.
My wife doesn't play Magic with me.
Well,
yeah, and we know why. You're sweaty as all hell.
Just a little bit sweaty. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's a sugar break.
You know
actually,
yeah, maybe it's
actually cool.
Maybe we like this player.
But Sam.
Yeah, Tony.
I think it's that time of the week.
Tony, what time of the week is it? I gotta get my lyrics up.
Wait,
Tony,
you did it wrong.
Shit. Tony, I think it is that time of the week.
Oh, well, what time is it, baby? Lay it on me.
It's the time of the week that comes every week.
Every mother...
Weep.
Week. I can only say it once, so I need somebody to do it for me every once in a while.
I got you.
It's the time of the week.
Sorry, I was finding my lyrics. Yeah, it's the time of the week that comes every week. Oh, you already said that.
I already did that.
It's the time of the week where we say...
One more time?
Yeah, clean take. It's the time of the week where we say, Mike. What's the salty card of the week?
The salty card of the week this week is...
'Cause when you are salty, I'm pleased. Your frustration brings me glee. I counter your commander for the third time. You know I love to hear you whine, my salty guy. So of course. Shucks. Of course, my sacrifice by Creed. I have to sing a Creed song every live show. You know,
it's mandatory.
I've done it already. I'm not about to stop.
The thing I do have to say that hasn't happened before is that there was people like doing the flashlight thing, which is a new thing for the salty song, which
great.
I did like.
I do that.
You
guys should do that for me more.
I won't.
Yeah. Well,
thanks, Sam. That was a lovely salty song.
Hey. You're lovely.
Oh, well, thanks for that too. All right. The salty card of the week this week is Teferi's Protection.
Oh, interesting. A game changer.
A bit of a game changer.
Interesting.
It is 2 and a white for an instant for folks that don't know it. Until your next turn, your life total can't change, and you gain protection from everything. All permanents you control phase out. Exile Teferi's Protection. So, has this card made you salty?
Are you talking
have to ask one of us.
No, I like when you.
You look at me in the eye.
I like when you have to kind of figure it out between the two.
I refuse.
All right, Sam then.
Yeah, I think this card actually. So this card used to make me salty because I didn't own one, and they were like $40 for a long time. I think they're still
like $45, $50.
Yeah, and it was just one of those things where like my friends that had them played it at every single deck, and you know, you as much as board wipes are kind of a bummer, you do expect them to go off, and you do like kind of need it. You know, there are moments when you're like, hell yeah, this is gonna do it, and when one person is like, nah, not me. Not me, though. Yeah. I'm going to push ahead. And it's usually the person you want to board wipe, you know?
Or sometimes the person playing the symmetrical board wipe, too.
Literally. Well, that's the other thing. So that, like Teferi's Protection, so often, every time we talk about mass lane destruction and stuff, we're like, well, you could partner it with the Teferi's Protection and protect your shit. So I feel like a lot of people, when it is making them salty, they've combined it with some super duper board wipe or something that, like, I don't know. It's salty because you see it happen to you, and it doesn't happen to them, but also I guess it does lead to a clear win, which maybe that's not so bad, but it's a mix. I don't think it gets me super salty, but it's definitely a powerful card.
Fair enough. Tony, how about you?
I love this card. This is
I guess you do.
This is my kind of protection for those things, or like quote counter magic. Like I almost view it as like counter magic because it's like I'm just protecting my own stuff, like this ink shield, those types of things where it's like I'm just preventing what you were trying to do to me, and I'm just reacting to it.
You know, you can do that with counter spells.
No, those are stupid. And so It's just like such a great moment to be able to be like, actually, I'm gone. And I'm totally fine from whatever this bullshit is that you're going to do to me. There's probably like a freaking psych rift or something. And I'm like, so I have nothing but like good vibes with this card. I can see how people would be like pissy about it because they're trying to probably board wipe you or something. And then they're like, oh, well, now my thing didn't happen.
Yeah.
But like, whatever. Screw those people.
What about you, Mike? How do you feel about this card?
I think you guys touched on a bunch of important stuff. I think, Tony, you were kind of alluding to it. Sometimes you don't, but this time you did. Great job.
Hell yeah, brother.
I think, Tony, your point of like, it's kind of geared for these blowout moments, for these like big epic moments of, oh, your stuff is all about to die. Like, no, people aren't usually using this if like one of their pieces is getting removed. It's usually like a huge attack or a huge spell that's like morphing everything. But I do think the fact that it's often paired with painful stuff means it's probably involved in a lot of salty moments. But I don't think it makes me too salty. And I love when someone thinks they're super, super safe from it, and then they still find a way to like lose the game through having various protection. That's one of my favorites. So...
Well, Mike,
now it's one of...
Where does it fall on the top 300 salty cards?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I would.
Wouldn't you like to know?
I really would like to know.
If you have a phone or pen and paper or anything, jot down where you think this lands.
But don't look it up.
Don't look it up. I'll be upset with you. I'll give you a stern talking to.
Disappointed.
I'll be disappointed. I probably won't... I can't be stern, so I'll probably just have a light talk.
I'm the stern one.
You'll get a stern
but Tony
story.
will be stern about it.
You'll get a very strongly worded email from me.
So this is the top 300 cards in EDH Rex saltiest cards. So jot down your guesses. Tony?
I really don't want to lose. I'm thinking.
Yeah, this is a...
Copyrighted. Definitely not copyrighted.
I think...
I picked one.
I have one.
All right.
Is everyone else good?
Okay. Now comes the part where I always realize I haven't thought of a better way to do this live. So, raise your hand, everybody. Everybody, if you wrote a guess, raise your hand. I want to hear your guesses first.
Okay, I said 96.
96.
I said 121.
121.
Fuck.
Put your hand down if your guess is higher than 200. Put your hand down if your guess is higher than 150. Higher than 130. Higher than 120.
No, Mike, that's my guess.
Higher than 100.
Yeah, get wrecked,
All right,
Sam.
so at this point we know Tony won.
No.
Now, put your hand down if your guess is lower than 50.
Oh, wow, it's high up.
Okay. All right, if your guess is higher than 75, put your hand down. Okay, we still got a few. If your guess
I'm
is...
lost on where...
Say the number.
All right, we're doing it. It is 61.
Oh.
Who's got it? Who's closest? 56? Anyone?
56?
57?
57?
67? 57?
What do we got
got
in the
it?
back there?
65's got it?
73?
65. You take it. Congratulations. Come up at
but you
the
didn't
end of the show. You got it. Well done. Excellent execution.
Pretty
We got
good,
some stuff for you in a little bit.
Yep.
And yeah, that's the salty card of the week.
That's way higher than I thought, man.
One of the things that I think is really interesting about this card is the top commanders that it shows up on are Edgar Markov, the Ur-Dragon, Kalia of the Vast, Giada. So just a lot of these really popular commanders.
Yeah.
So I think it sees just a ton of play. It's a very format-defining card, and I think because of that, like I said, it's involved in a lot of these salty situations, and people have this memory of some painful experience with it.
You see it a lot. I think because it's so powerful, it gets put in so many decks.
It's just one of those
what
good
percentage of
staples,
decks is it in?
It is of the decks that it could be in, it's in 18.5.
18%.
That's crazy.
That's a lot.
That's
of
really
decks.
high.
Yeah.
That is.
How many decks does it have?
It's got 529,000 decks that it's in.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
That's a lot,
shit.
man. I mean, it's just a staple, it's like Smothering Tithe. If you're going to build that powerful deck, you're going to put it in, right?
Yeah, you are.
have it.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
All
Thanks,
right.
Mike.
That wraps it up for the salty card of the week. Thanks for playing, everybody.
Thanks, Mike. That was a lovely, salty card. And thank you to our prospectors in the audience for hanging out with us today. We have some little giveaways we want to do. Should I do the outro first? Should we
do the outro.
Yeah. All right. But So we'll do that at the end. But first of all, thanks again for hanging out with us. This is super awesome. I hope you guys are having an awesome convention. After this, we're going to go over to the Creator Central, and we're all going to have little pads of paper and like pod up and basically do our patron or our prospector meetup. So we're going to just like hang out, jam games. We'll each have a little list, pull people in, play games until they kick us out, like 6 or something.
Come sign up.
And then tomorrow at 12:30, also in Creator Central, we have our meet and greet, and we're going to have our mic set up and be asking people what makes them salty for a little What Makes People Salty special that we like to do in our wrap-up episode. Come on through for all that stuff. It's going to be fun. Like I said, we have giveaways, so stick around. I'm going to like end it, but you don't walk away immediately. What else?
Big shout out to Wizards for hosting us and inviting us, giving us this
Third
space
live
to
show,
do this
man.
with everybody. Thanks to all of you for coming and making this a fun
supporting us.
time. Really appreciate it.
If we didn't have to, it would be an empty room. We were like, we're always, every single time, we're like, there's going to be 10
I'm
people.
like, no one's coming. I'm gonna,
We walk in and there's like 20 people, and we're like, okay.
At least there's 20 people.
And then I think we're up to I think there's like 100 people in here now. So it feels good. It feels very good when that stuff happens. So we appreciate it. If you want more Howling Salt Mine, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Howling Salt Mine. A bunch of you are already patrons. If you meet us, tell us your Discord name.
Oh,
so that we know
That
who
is
you
like
are.
so clutch.
Don't be
so we
like,
know who
hey,
you are.
I'm Sam. And I'm like, cool.
I want to know that too, but your Discord name.
Yeah, I also want to know that too, but the Discord
pair
name
them
does help.
so that I know.
But check it out. We've got bonus content on there. We have like 60 hours of bonus content on there, a bunch of different tiers, awesome Discord community. We do Patreon game nights once a month. If you want, we have merchandise. If you like our Untap Upkeep Salt shirts, it's also our token design. You can get these on our Bonfire site. We're leaving this up. This is our Vegas design, but it's just cool. So we're going to sell it forever.
Yeah.
And then we also have our play mats from Jank Mats that we are doing and a bunch of other cool stuff. What?
And we just started having Dragon Shield sleeves sold on Dragon
On
Shield
the
website.
Dragon
so
Shield
you can come
website.
get custom designs. Sam's amazing art. Right now it's Zatalpa.
Yes, we have 1-800 Are You Flappin' sleeves available for the Zatalpa enthusiasts and our classic logo. And we're going to be rotating the designs. And we have some of these to give away today. But we're going to be rotating that second design. We're working with the Dragon Shield team. They're awesome. We have an affiliate code, all one word, lowercase, stay salty. Get 5% off when you check out. It's great. And I think you can use that on our sleeves, and it's like double dipping for us, which is pretty hot. And I think they're $25, so they're not crazy.
Pretty good deal.
Yeah, pretty good. What else? Oh, last but not least, we got to shout him out. Our buddy, Devin Burnett, for giving us our beautiful podcast art that today we're rocking on stickers that we have. If you're ever in Nashville, North Carolina, hit him up and get a tattoo because he's a really cool guy.
Oh, 10,000 subscribers are buzzed.
Indeed.
I totally just was gone.
As always, thanks again, everybody. Stay salty, and don't forget to draw an additional card during your draw step.
Hell
It's the Howling Salt Mine. The Howling Salt Mine.
You know how there's like that little lock on the fucking SD card?
Yeah.
It was just like halfway between, so I pressed record and it was like, no SD card. It was like, oh wait, my bag too. So I have some good stories. The first one's like short, sweet, and to the salt. It's very kind. It's very low.
Kind.
Not, it's just like classic salt.
Kind.
It's classic salt.
This is kind bullshit.
I forget I even said it.
Can you shit on an ass in PG-13?
Yeah, you can say shit in ass.
I can shit on an ass.
I wouldn't.